Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today, I'm going to do a final update or part 3 to a video series I started a couple weeks ago about a guy whose wife out of nowhere wanted or demanded, let me rephrase that, demanded that they have an open marriage. And at the time he had a 5-year-old daughter, and this guy said, no way, not happening. She still pushed it. They ended up divorcing, and now 8 years later, he's doing great, good life. He's having fun, hooking up with different women at his own pace, enjoying the life as a bachelor. Meanwhile, her fun has ended as she's gotten older. And now she's back to demanding. Demanding's a big theme with her, that they get back together and be a family all over again. He says, no way. And in the first video, as many of you guys saw, they were going to a therapy session with the daughter because the daughter was having some trouble in school, and she hijacked the therapy session to make it all about her and yelling at him for having an open relationship with a lot of different girls, which is, guess what, that's just called dating. And she's mad at him and yelling at him and all that. Part 2 of the video was him trying to figure out what was going on there because they apparently have been getting along for 8 years, sharing custody of the daughter. And he found out from her sister and brother that she pretty much has a bad relationship with her family because they know why she ended the marriage. And she's been, let's just say her prospects of having the carousel lifestyle has been dwindling because she's getting older, and that's what's going on. And this email is the final update to his situation where he arranged to have a sit down with, excuse me, a sit down and figure out where things are going and all that because, you know, the daughter is seeing her bring back the different guys at the house. It's causing issues there. And I advised the guy in the other video, you might want to talk to a lawyer because she's going to start causing problems for you. She had apparently, I forgot to mention in the first video, if you guys didn't see it, she hacked into his Facebook Messenger and saw all this information about the women he was dating. She knew about the details on that, which you guys obviously know if you saw the video. Definitely crazy stuff. And I advised, and a lot of other guys advised, he talked to a lawyer because things could get ugly real quick with regards to custody and all that. And maybe it might have been a good idea to have the girl come live with him. So he's going to do his final update about her, where things went, and also you find out exactly from her what led her down this path to desperately want him back as her husband again, to give their marriage a second shot, even though it's crazy. So it starts off, he says, "Hi SSM. Again, thank you for sharing my previous update. Honestly, I've been going through a lot in the last couple of weeks, but thanks to the advice given to you and your viewers, I've been able to stay strong and true to my values." You're welcome, bro. And again, guys, thank you for your help. Thank you for your comments. It's helping this guy out. Also, I want to show you the extreme effects of the gray rock method on women when directly conversing with them. This is a long update, so apologies in advance for it. No problem, bro. Talk as long as you want. We all love your stories. He says, I have some good news and a tiny bit of bad news. The good news is I don't need it to inquire the help of an attorney anymore. I wouldn't rule that out completely yet. Jessica and I, Jessica's his ex, have come to an agreement about our daughter Jane's well-being, and hopefully everything should be fine on that end. And a little bit of bad news. I did learn a lot. He wrote that in giant letters. More on the why Jessica wants us to be a complete family again. It's honestly very sad on her end, and nothing much has changed other than her bravado, arrogance having faded away. I'll explain more later. He says, anyway, on to the hopefully final update. Many of the viewers have suggested that if I meet up with Jessica alone, she might accuse me of certain things. So when planning to have a private talk with her, I demanded that I have a witness and I have our phones recording during the discussion. Jessica obviously didn't like this idea, but after much pestering, she finally agreed on the terms that she was also allowed to bring somebody as well. Kind of like, I wouldn't say mediation, but you got witnesses there, you got recordings. I mean, at the end of the day, the ball's in your court. You can demand whatever you want. Either she goes along with it or she doesn't. Because ultimately, you know she wants you back. Again, I had a bad feeling about this, but I know better now than last time, so I told her I need to know who she was bringing, and in turn, I would tell her who I was bringing. Without much pushback, Jessica told me she was bringing her mother, who was probably there to convince me to take her back. In the previous email, it was revealed that the mother and her weren't getting along anymore because the mother learned the reason that her daughter's marriage failed is because her daughter wanted an open marriage to go out and hook up with other dudes. And so she's trying to win back the love of mommy. And obviously he's bringing mom along, hoping to maybe sway this guy to get back with her. And I told her I was bringing a mutual friend, someone who was free from bias, according to my attorney. Lastly, Jane was at home, Jane's his daughter, when all this went down, as it took place during Jessica's parent time. But we agreed that Jane would not be involved during our conversation. Well, thank the Lord for that. I'll be blunt with you, SSM. It started out as a well-meaning conversation, but it turned to a sad sack of crap show by the end. Gee, I never could have saw that coming, bro. We had our long talk last Friday afternoon. I came with my friend who agreed to be a witness, and when we arrived, Jessica was already there with her mother and some papers and alcohol on the table. Yeah, bringing alcohol into this whole, what is going to be obviously a heated, emotional discussion, not a very good idea. Before we started, my friend informed everyone of the recording and to say some legal formalities. Jessica's mother was confused by everyone, but everyone did agree to the conversation being recorded after some explanation. My friend stayed on the side of the room to avoid being involved in the conversation, while Jessica's mother stayed right beside her. Quick question I want to know. Did this guy's attorney suggest something like this? I mean, I get the recordings to make sure nothing can be accused of certain things, having witnesses to make sure nobody can accuse you of certain things, but I still wonder if the attorney thought this was a good idea. But okay. It certainly is entertaining what happens, because I've obviously read this a couple times. At this point, I went full gray rock and fully changed my demeanor towards Jessica, using a stern voice and showing almost no emotion on my face. I, however, responded more positively towards my friend and her mother during the conversation to signify that's the difference. Jessica started out by saying that she forgives me for having relationships with other women. You're divorced. You've been divorced for 8 years. What do you mean she forgives you for having relationships with other women? You're a single man. You're a bachelor. Okay? She ruined your marriage. You can do whatever the hell you want. And that she's sorry for the outburst, but, and really emphasized but, I should have agreed to an open relationship during our marriage, as it caused a lot of problems for everyone involved. So after 8 years, she's still blaming him that their marriage tanked because he wouldn't accept her getting sausage from every dude in town. That he's the bad guy. Again, narcissist. 8 years later, she's still blaming him. She's certainly sticking to her crazy guns. No, it's not your fault. It's her fault. I responded by telling her that I am single and that it's not illegal to date other people. Amen, brother. She noticed how stern I was and quickly changed her tone, saying that she was really sorry for the outburst and she should have just waited for a better time. She's not sorry. I didn't respond to that line and instead told her to focus on the topic at hand. Jessica's mother asked me why I was being so cold today, and I responded with a respectful apology, but reiterated that I am not here to make small talk, but to discuss our problems for the sake of my daughter. Remember, this is all about the daughter, okay? About, how things are going to go with her and so on and so forth. Enough with this Jessica character, his ex-wife, bringing home her Chad and Tyrones and the girl having to see this. Very unhealthy environment and probably custody issues. And her, obviously, school and all that stuff. Not about their relationship. Jessica was a bit stunned for a while, but she tried to go all business with me by showing me some documents. Jessica was always business savvy and made always business plans for her client meetings and whatnot. These documents were financial statements and even a pitch for us getting back together. When I was reading it, I saw that financially I'd be more comfortable, and one of the main hooks of the pitch was that I could even afford my dream car, a brand new Lexus ES 2022, if we got married again. You gotta be shitting me. She was really smug the entire time I was reading her business plan, and she even offered me a drink to ease my nerves, which I just ignored. So she's making a business plan and like a pitch, like a sales pitch in a meeting, trying to convince you the benefits of getting back with her. Meanwhile, in no way, shape, or form are you at all in love with her, let alone love her, let alone want to be in the same room with her. And she's not in love with you. She's just desperate, and we all know it. Because guess what? Her prospects have run out because she's getting older, and obviously, in my opinion, a wacko. And she's a sales pitch. Oh, well, you can get that Lexus you always want if we get back together. You know what? This guy's doing great on his own. He can save money. He can invest his money and use the profits from those investments to go buy his 2022 dream car Lexus, all he wants, and doesn't have a dishonest, narcissistic, a-hole wife all over again. There's an idea. Why the hell would he get back with her after what she did and her behavior? It's madness. And not to mention the fact that she's like almost 10 years older than when they split up the last time. Unbelievable. She really thinks very highly of herself. Anyway, he says, I knew her game plan here, so I reacted the opposite way that she expected. I just looked her in the eyes and I said I wasn't interested and slid the papers back to her. Her expression and aura changed dramatically when I did this. She just looked blankly into the table for a couple of seconds and then began asking what the heck was wrong with me today. Again, it's not her fault. This is typical narcissistic behavior. It's your fault. You're the bad guy. I don't know how the hell you got together with her in the first. Maybe she put on the cool exterior when you all first met. Maybe she's really good looking, but then, oh my God, dude, I'm so happy that you got away from. Well, didn't get away from her. She's still in your life, and if your daughter's 13, she's still going to be in your life at least for 5 more years, from a legal perspective. But oh my God. Anyway, I ignored her questions and went straight to the point. I wanted her to stop with the complete family idea and to just focus on our daughter's well-being. I elaborated on the problems with Jane told me during our talk. And to give some sort of petty revenge, I described one of her F-buddies that Jane remembered as proof of what I was saying. Jessica remained silent, only mustering a really soft, I'll apologize to her later. I then told her that she might have violated some data privacy laws by willingly spreading information about me and people related to me to third parties when she showed pictures of the girls I dated to the therapist via unauthorized procurement of private data. Yeah, when she hijacked the therapy session with him, her, and the daughter, she made it all about her, and that's what narcissists do, and showed all these pictures of girls that she hacked from his Facebook Messenger to the therapist and all that, embarrassing him in front of his daughter, I might add. Psycho. But again, big issue was she was bringing all these Chad and Tyrone boyfriends home when her daughter was there. Not good. Before I go any further, Jessica's mother then raised her voice and asked, I thought you two were going to get back together. What is going on? Well, clearly the acorn doesn't fall far from the tree because Jessica's mom and Jessica both are a bit delusional. Jessica was just silent, so I calmly explained to her that Jessica and I were not getting back together, and this whole talk was for the benefit of our daughter and nothing else. Jessica's mother was taken aback. She apologized to me and just decided to remove herself from the situation, saying that she was lied to again. Not sure what she meant by this, and went outside to smoke. Sounds like her wonderful daughter is giving her a bunch of BS about them getting back together because that's what the mother really wants. Jessica was dazed at this point, and it seemed that all of her plans just today had failed. Before I could say a word, she broke her silence, and she'd come clean now about everything, but demanded back to the demanding again, that I give her a second chance to make things right after I heard her out. I told her if it was for the benefit of our daughter that I'd lend an ear, but reminded her that she wasn't in the position of making any demands. Nice, bro. Now, guys, this is the best part of the whole story here. You're going to find this the most entertaining. Why? After 8 years, his ex is now desperately trying to get him back and using all these awful manipulative shaming tactics and all that. Listen to this. This is going to make you all laugh. Get your popcorn, get your beer, get ready. Here we go. During our more open honest, I was able to get a lot of answers. I don't want to go into detail about most things as they are insignificant or too personal to share, but here are the highlights. Here we go. Why does she want to be a complete family again? There are multiple reasons to this, but it all started when most of her friends that were her age, ding, 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 closed their marriages with their husbands. So, all this time in varying degrees, her girlfriends, had convinced their husbands to open up their marriages. This is where it all started. So they were all hooking up with other dudes. But now they're closing their marriages. Gee, I wonder why. Probably because father time has come into play and they're getting older and they're less desirable. So they closed the marriages. Their dumbass husbands were like, whew, okay, just me again. But it goes to show you, all these husbands agreed to this. So this goes to show you how strong this guy was. He said, no way. See how many weak guys are out there? And how I tell you guys all the time, pay attention to who your girl hangs out with. They're going to have an influence on her right here. They all were closing their marriages. She was the only one left out, and soon no one would go to the bar and clubs with her anymore. She tried to befriend younger women, but that plan backfired in her face. Every time her and her younger friends went clubbing, she would always foot the bill, but found herself alone at the end of the night while her younger friends went home with other men. Translation, the guys didn't want her anymore. They went with the younger friends, and she was there just with her hands in the air saying, "What happened? Where are all the good men? Okay, I'll now try to get my ex-husband back because no other dudes want me." That's what's going on. That happened multiple times, and she started to get really depressed. She then tried casually dating, but either kept getting ghosted or hit on by men who were in their 60s. There you go. When the C virus incident with Jane happened, she started to appreciate having me around the house all the time and eventually realized that she wanted me back and she missed having her complete family life. She started with trying to win me back and even had a grand plan for it. In the last video, I talked about when during the COVID times, the peak of COVID, they thought her daughter had it, so he was at the house helping out for the daughter. And the ex-wife got to see what it was like to have him around helping out and stuff like that because he was doing it for the daughter only. And she missed, obviously, having someone else helping out and all that. And not to mention, her prospects were running out. So it's like, well, nobody else wants me anymore, and I really don't like having to pay for everything or take care of all the chores. So, okay, I'm going to get my ex-husband back. Now I got no other prospects. That's what's going on. If she had plenty of dudes that were interested in her, like when she was younger, and obviously had enough money to maybe hire people to, take care of things around the house that she wouldn't have to do herself, I don't think there's any chance in hell she would be trying to get this guy back. Unbelievable. She told her mother and father of the grand plan and even exaggerated that we were dating again with the hopes of getting remarried. She lied to her parents, never ending with her. She also promised that she's done dating and having fun with guys and she wants to be committed to me once more. Again, because her prospects have ran out. That's it. That is the only reason why. Why did she hack into my Messenger account? She blatantly admitted that she was spying on me to plan a surprise to win me back. But that's when she saw that I was sleeping with multiple women. In order for her to see all that, she went through all my messages and had to go through 2 months of messages to ever find my last hookup, and probably even further than that to find my previous hookups. She promised to never do that again and even offered to give me access to her Messenger, but I declined. Why would you want to see that? And after all this, she still thinks that this guy's going to want to get back with her? He's having a good old life on his own. And the impression I get is this: it's not just it's not just about him being free to go hook up with younger women, having a good time, and he's obviously having fun doing this. But the impression I get from his emails is that that's not his main priority here. But she screwed the whole thing up. Why would he get back with her after all this? And don't tell me for the sake of the daughter, because the daughter can see the madness here. At least the daughter can be in a stable environment with him, but with the ex, holy crap. What about Jane, the daughter? Jessica and I have come to an agreement that she wouldn't bring guys over anymore if Jane was at home, and agreed that Jane could spend more time with me during the weekends and on some weekdays. I get Jane for 3 to 4 days a week now, depending on our schedules. Good. The more your daughter is with you, the better it is. And as for her, I promise I won't bring guys over when the daughter's there. Well, guess what? The supply of guys she's not having the easy supply of guys that she once did. Lastly, Jessica did try to have one more push on getting back together, but I told her to drop it. She refused and said that having a complete family again is her goal, and she'll make me realize that she can offer me so much more than those other girls. The girls, doesn't matter about them being young and fun and all that, and the hookups. I'm sure that's fun, don't get me wrong, but she's nuts. She's manipulative. She's a liar. She's, just a never-ending supply of negative things, and a narcissist, and sneaky, and untrustworthy, and just never-ending trouble. Why would he get back with her? But again, given that she's a narcissist and thinks she's the greatest thing since sliced bread, why would he want me back? I'm so perfect and amazing. Of course, all these other guys want me. No. This guy should never get back with her. We've already begun We had already been talking for 4 hours, so I decided to just end the conversation there and go home with my friend and Jane. As we were leaving, I heard Jessica and her mother get into an argument. I don't know the details on that, but I know Jessica threw a shot glass at her 55-inch TV, breaking the screen. Yeah, again, I want to get back with her because she's so stable. Bro, I think you're going to need a lawyer. For now, everything seems normal, so you think, and I've been limiting my contact with Jessica, but it just amazes me how much someone can change when you start gray rocking them. I systematically dismantled her whole game plan for our meeting by not giving a crap, and I saw that it messed with her head. It's like you said, the power of walking away really changes a woman's perspective on a man. Absolutely. 100%, guys. I'm hoping that this is the final update and that my life returns to the way it once was. Again, thank you so much for you and your community's advice. Without it, I don't know what I might have done. Thank you, SSM. Well, you're welcome, bro. And again, to the guys, many of you, thousands of you that have commented on the previous videos, thank you. We're a community here, and it's great that you guys help out with these, because you really do help these guys out. But finishing up, yeah, crazy, dude. And I can't believe you sat there for 4 hours and recorded the whole thing. I can't believe that your friend, a good friend of yours, sat there and listened to this horse shit for 4 hours. I mean, I hope that dude is sworn to secrecy. Obviously, do not get back with her. She's nuts. And your daughter's 13, so you got 5 more years legally. You're going to have to deal with her until the daughter's legal. You're going to be dealing with her forever, let's be honest here, because if your daughter has kids one day and sharing grandkids and all that, but 5 more years until your daughter's a legal adult and you don't have to the back and forth. But I really hope that this is it. I really do. But something tells me it's not, and she is not going to back down. And there's going to be a point you may have to literally, I mean, she's constantly bugging you about this stuff. It's going to get to the point you may have to actually, as much as you don't want to spend the money, seek legal advice. And I don't know how it's going to work with a daughter and joint custody and somewhat of how a restraining order work, because she won't leave you alone. I mean, this is getting to the point of harassment, and obviously she was invading your privacy and sharing your personal information and hacking into your messenger. I mean, these are serious things here. I honestly don't know what to say. I can say that she's trouble, and I don't think she's going to back down. So if this continues, I would consult an attorney what your options are with regards to the issues with the daughter and custody and her bugging you and harassing you and all these other things. If you want to continue as it is, okay. But at this point, beyond my area of expertise, you might want to consult an attorney and see where things go from there. But I hope maybe she'll leave you alone. But why would you get back with this? It's unbelievable to me. But again, that part which I read about how the real truth was that all her friends stopped, they closed their marriages. So all her friends were convinced their dumbass husbands to have open marriages. And these weak-ass guys agreed with this. And it shows to you again how I talk about pay attention to your wife or girlfriend or whatever hangs out with who her friends are, because they're going to have an influence on her. Perfect example. And how, guess what? They're obviously closing up their open marriages because they're getting older and they're not as appealing as they were when they were younger, in their 20s and 30s. And so same thing with her. And she's hanging out with the younger girls trying to continue on the carousel riding, and all the guys go for her younger friends. And only after all that, she's now had an epiphany. Okay, I'm ready to be a loyal, wonderful Jane Cleaver 1950s housewife again. Yeah, right. It's just that she's alone, she's desperate, and obviously wants to repair the relationship with her family. It has nothing to do with you. She's not capable of love. Well, not that they really are anyway, but especially her. It would be miserable. And that whole pitch to get your dream car, what a load of crap. You can get that car on your own. You're doing well. Save your money, invest your money, and use the profits from some of those investments to just go buy that car and be happy. But unbelievable. So that will probably be the final update to this. If there's yet another one down the road, I may do another one. I know you guys really like this video, but I wish this guy all the best. I'm really glad that I could help out, as well as I'm glad that the other viewers in this community here could help out too, and I wish you all the best, man. I think you're doing well. Just, if it gets worse, consult an attorney. It's worth the money, okay? You don't need this hassle and have to be constantly looking over your shoulder and sleeping one eye open, because Lord knows what's going to happen next. I mean, I'm curious, so I'll be on the lookout for an email in the future, but take some time and see where things go. All right, guys, that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below what you think about this, and let this guy know what you think about this and how this whole thing is going and where you think things are going. Believe me, it will help him out. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.